Welcome to Dodgers Daily. I'm Casey Porter. I'm so glad that you decided to tune in. We have a very, very, very special guest this afternoon. Jesse Guffey, the Texas League Athletic Trainer of the Year, joins Dodgers Daily. So, Jesse, thank you so much for joining Dodgers Daily.
I'm glad to be here.
Okay, the first thing I wanted to do, I wanted to thank you very much for all of your work with the Tulsa Drillers. I have seen it firsthand. You helped me with an interview with Andy Pages Abreu. And the first thing that stuck out to me was how comfortable those guys were with it. You know, when you can't speak the English language very well, it can be a situation where you're a little bit worried about how it gets translated. But I got to see firsthand how much these guys respect you and how much they're comfortable with you and trust you. So, first of all, thank you for that, and talk about that role.
Absolutely. When I first finished grad school, I got sent down to the Dominican Republic with Cincinnati Reds. Okay. I had a translator for about the first 3 days, and then he said, "Hey, I'm going back to Arizona." So I said, "All right, I guess I'm learning Spanish." I hadn't taken any Spanish.
Oh, really?
Yeah, throughout the course of that season, we had a catcher. He was from Venezuela, and he wanted to learn English more than anything. So for an hour a night, because you're staying at the complex, we'd sit there in my office and be like, "All right, what's the word for this? What's the word for that?" And then we would try to he'd try to talk to me in English. I'd try to talk to him in Spanish. We'd correct each other when we needed to. And then once we got a little bit in, like, all right, we're going to go to the grocery store and try this out. So every year the Dodgers do an exchange, and we send some of our guys from our DSL team up to Arizona, and they kind of get a little preview of what it's like in the States before they come up the next year. And then we do it with a couple draft guys. They'll go down to the Dominican Republic, spend a week going around seeing kind of the history, visiting a few of the players' homes. My favorite thing is when they go to the grocery store to get their snacks and everything for the week, they don't realize what it's like when you don't speak English. And the guys, especially, go to Great Lakes, and nobody's speaking Spanish in northern Michigan. So yeah. They have to try to buy whatever their snacks are without knowing any Spanish. So watching them struggle, they get to learn how difficult it can be for our Latin players when they first come to the States. When you go to Arizona or Rancho, maybe, there's enough Spanish you can get by, but it gets tougher as you go up.
Boy, I'll bet that bond that you are able to create with these players that rely on you, at least to an extent, especially early on, I'll bet that bond is unbreakable, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. Since I came over to the Dodgers in 2018, a lot of the guys I've had every single year moving up with them. So that's incredible. And then when you put in the little bit of effort to speak to them in their own language, it goes a long way and helps to let them know that you do care about them, and you kind of want to be on an even page with them. And I try to push them to learn English. We do have English teachers at every affiliate. So like during the game, like if somebody were to get hurt, it's a lot more comfortable to speak in your native language than try to worry about trying to speak English while like you have a sprained ankle. So
yeah, all right. Yeah, very cool. Okay, so congratulations again, Texas League Athletic Trainer of the Year. Okay, very well deserved. As I mentioned, I've seen it firsthand. I know just how much the players really enjoy having you around, really enjoy everything that you do for them. So very well deserved. So talk about what that means to you, everything that went into it, and just kind of how that went for you.
Yeah, it means a lot. Anytime you get recognized for what you do is always great. It's the fourth time I've won one of the awards. So
okay.
I rack up. So they make my mom happy. So that part's great. But yeah, it's just great to have the respect of all the other trainers in the league and around baseball and get acknowledged for what you do. And when Hennessy had announced it to our team this year after finding out that I'd won, everybody just kind of laughed, like, yeah, this is what we expected. So I'm like, all right, I appreciate it, guys. Thanks.
Totally awesome. You mentioned Hennessy. Guys call him Henny, and then the entire staff with Pill and all those guys there. Just a wonderful coaching staff there. I can only imagine it's just awesome getting to show up in that atmosphere and that environment every day.
Oh, it's incredible. When I first started off with Cincinnati, when I was in the Dominican League, I spent a little bit of time that year with the AAA team in Louisville, and Ryan Danick was on that team. So from my very first year in baseball, I've known him. And then we were together in Great Lakes a few years ago. During the COVID year, we were on the same group in Rancho. So I've had years with him, and he's just an incredible resource. Brett Pill, getting to work with him on different projects this year. Chris Gutierrez was with me in the AZL when we won our championship in 2018, and Hennessy and I have been close since I came over, but it's just such an incredible group of people that you get to work with every single day. We're really, really lucky to have that group, and the players really benefit from it. So that's nice.
Yeah, no doubt about it. You mentioned the AZL. They call it the ACL now. And if you could put a word in to change it back to the AZL, I just can't get used to the ACL. Kind of like when they tried to change the Texas League to AA Central. I just can't get used to it. But, hey, you were a trainer at Kentucky. You mentioned being with the Reds. You're a trainer with Kentucky. You're still with Great Britain, with the Great Britain Baseball Club. And you're also, when you came to the Dodgers 4 years ago, you were with the Reds. So take us, first of all, through all of those experiences. What is Great Britain baseball? Take us through that, the caliber of baseball. I know it's a bunch of British guys that are from the UK playing baseball, and then how you came to become a Dodger 4 years ago and your experiences there.
Yeah. So after I went to undergraduate at Indiana State, then I did an internship with the Chicago Cubs that summer. Went to grad school at University of Kentucky, and that led me into the Cincinnati Reds. Spent 4 years there, 1 in the Dominican and 3 in Billings, Montana. When I got to the end of that, I knew that I wanted a different team to be with, a little change of scenery and chance to grow and develop. So the entire time I was with Cincinnati, John Shoemaker was a manager in Ogden and Arizona and all the places I'd been, and he was just always such a great guy. Every single day, Mark Curtani was the same when he was in Ogden. Would come up to you every single day, just ask how you're doing. They would know your name. And I was like, wow, there's something different going on over there. So when I knew that I was planning on leaving Cincinnati, I asked Yuya Makihara, who was in OKC last year, like, do you guys, have any openings going on over there? So he's like, yeah, we need somebody in Arizona if you would be willing to do something like that. So let my contract expire with Cincinnati and interviewed and came over and never regretted it a day since.
I'll bet.
For the international baseball, probably about 10 years ago, I started working with the Republic of Ireland's baseball team. And then former Dodger coaches Tony Capicilli and then Gage Crosgrove, they've gone off to other teams now, but we decided that we were going to go over and do a youth camp. So we had probably 200-300 little kids that played in the little leagues over there in Ireland show up, and we did a coaches clinic for those coaches. Kind of baseball's a little foreign to them. So we did that, and then we had a coach from Great Britain show up to our coaches clinic, and they asked, like, hey, how come you've never come over to visit us? I'm like, well, nobody's ever given us the invite. So after getting to know them, got asked to be with them for the WBC in 2020, which got, of course, delayed. And then this past fall, the Dodgers were nice enough to let me go over to Germany for the qualifier. So we got to go over to the qualifier. We went 3-0 and qualified for the main tournament. So we'll be playing Team USA in March. But yeah, the team is made up. There's a lot of former professional players, a lot of minor league players that you'll see around the league. Koperniak, who's in Springfield this year, he's one of our outfielders. So it's a lot of guys that had a parent that was born over there, or they're born in the Virgin Islands or Bahamas when, they were territories of Great Britain. So it's interesting. It definitely is a lot different when you have a flag on your arm instead of, just team logo. So the pride, the excitement's a little different. So getting to go over to Germany and play those games was just an incredible experience. And I'm glad the Dodgers let me do it. So we have a big task in Team USA on March 8th. So let's hope we get a win there.
Hey, you mentioned Shoemaker, the manager of, he's with Loe Rancho Cucamonga right now. I'm going to take an educated guess. I'm going to bet whenever you were dealing with him, every time you dealt with him, he had a full uniform on every time, right? That guy.
Yeah. I had Shoemaker was with me in 2019 in Great Lakes and then 2021 in Rancho. And I've seen him not in uniform twice.
Shoemaker, everybody loves Shoemaker. So, hey, I'm very excited to get to talk to you about this next topic. As I tell people, I get to see it from kind of the outside looking in, but I do get a little bit of, kind of close access from time to time. So I get to see the culture every day in this organization. It is absolutely real. It is not coach speak. It is not just talk. They want people to be good people first and then be good at their job second. So you get to see it all the time. So I'm so excited to get your perspective on the Dodgers culture.
Yeah, it's incredible. When you're on the outside looking, you're like, okay, there's no way it's actually like that. But you have the Jackie Robinson quote up everywhere. It's 100% true, and it starts with Shoemaker, who's the captain of player development, and the coaches live it out every single day. There may be guys that they're not going to make it to the major leagues, but you got to treat them with the exact same respect and kindness. There have been plenty of shocks, undrafted guys that have made it. We have a big streak of 33rd rounders that have got it. And with a lot of organizations, those guys just don't get the priority. But if you treat everybody the way you're supposed to treat and how you'd want to be treated, it goes a long way. Jaron Kendall has never, ever turned down an autograph request. Every kid that's at a stadium that says hi to Jaron Kendall, they can get a picture with him, they can get an autograph from him. Just the way they interact with even our bus drivers, the hotel employees. I've never seen a negative interaction between anybody from our organization and, the people we come in contact with on a daily basis, which I could tell you from other teams and hearing when other teams come to town, that's not the case everywhere else. So
it is unbelievable to watch if you get to see it at any kind of somewhat kind of close perspective. It's incredible to watch. But hey, we talked about the translating you do, making some of those guys feel comfortable. But other than that, kind of take us through the role of what a professional athletic trainer does for a professional baseball team.
Yeah. So I don't know who agreed to it sometime back in the history of baseball, but there's a lot of stuff that they don't teach you in college. So whether you have to relace gloves, schedule hotels, talk with the bus company, translating, there's weather guy sometimes. The amount of additional stuff that's gotten thrown in over the course of baseball is wild. But on a regular basis, the guys come in early. If you're on the road, it's really early. You go to the gym, everybody gets their workouts in. You're there to help out with that. I got my master's in strength conditioning, so I can help out Noah a little bit if he needs me. Or it's a big team, so trying to get hands-on, one-on-one with guys. Like Noah's incredible. Noah Huff, who was our strength coach this past year, but try to help out with that, and then start getting the guys ready for practice. You have you guys that are on the IL or injured at the time. They come in a little bit earlier, get their work done, try to get them in a good spot, do their physical therapy, all their rehab, so that they can get out there and do whatever activity it might be that day. If they're hitting the cage with Brett, if they're going out to play catch with Denick, whatever it might be, and then having the incredible coaching staff we do that can kind of pick up and know exactly what the guy's mechanics are supposed to look like, and if there's something slightly off. Because, I watch them every single day, so I notice some of the things, but having an extra set of eyes never hurts. And then, once the pitchers finish up outside, then they all come in, do whatever they need to recover and get ready for that day. We have a little chart. They kind of tell us, like 1 to 10, how am I feeling today? Could I throw if I absolutely have to? Would an extra day of rest be nice? So we try to get that all planned out and share that with our pitching coaches. And then the hitters will go out and take BP and do their defense. And then about an hour before the game, close down the training room, and it's just our starting pitcher and catcher. Let them get what they need. But the biggest thing for us is getting our guys into routine so that they know exactly what they need to do every day. Because there'll be a day where, maybe they get traded, maybe they get Rule 5, they go somewhere else, and we don't know that they're going to have the same resources. So having them, I have plenty of players from Cincinnati and other organizations that have gone off, guys who've traded to Tampa that still reach out and say, hey, what was that thing that we used to do that made my arm feel really good? And I'm always glad to help them and help them advance their career, even if, they're wearing another uniform. But the connection that you have with them, it's just part of it. So getting the guys ready and self-sufficient and go out there and win some games, which, we are pretty good at.
Yeah, there's more to it than what people see at 7:05 every night, huh? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so, okay, if you can't tell by listening to Jesse talk, he's having an absolute blast with his job here with the Dodgers. So just talk about how much fun it is just every day get to go to the park.
Yeah, I tell my friends all the time that, like, they finished college and they went and got an office job. They're an accountant or they're doing engineering or something. I'm like, yeah, we don't ever have to really grow up. Like you get to go to the locker room every single day. You get to go to a baseball game every day. You get to hang out with your friends. So it's like a imaginary world where you still get to live in college mode or high school mode, wherever it was when you were playing baseball. But you get to go to the ballpark every day. I don't. There's some days where you're at the hospital till 3 a.m. Like that's a job, but most of the time it doesn't feel like it. It's like, if I wasn't doing this, what would I want to do? I'd probably want to go watch a game anyway. So might as well get paid for
it. Yeah, no doubt about it. Okay, I have been to One Oak, the home of the Tulsa Drillers, the AA affiliate, many, many times there in downtown Tulsa. Unbelievable facility. Of course, I grew up going to Driller Stadium over there at the Tulsa State Fair, so it was really cool when they built one up there in downtown. Awesome facility, but I've never been underneath to see the locker rooms and all the training facilities, so I'm very curious. Take us through a quick tour of what those are like.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's a full, big, nice stadium. So whenever I found out I was going to Tulsa for the first time, everybody told me, like, yeah, you're going to be spoiled there. Tulsa's like far and away the nicest training room, which it is. We've been really lucky. We have great affiliates. Rancho, it's got a great location. The front office there is incredible. Great Lakes is massive. And, you could do with some better weather, but other than that, it's an incredible place to be. But I haven't been to OKC yet. But Tulsa, when you go down underneath there, you have full underground batting cages. The training room is massive. You have a huge weight room. The locker room is really good size. They have a poker table that you can't get the guys off of, and then some nice coaching offices. But it's an incredible facility. They really, really take care of it. And the fact that they play soccer games on there and find a way to keep it in the good shape that they do, real testament to that grounds crew. But there's a reason that every team, when they come in, they're like, yeah, we enjoy being in Tulsa.
Something I heard, and I'm not exactly sure if this is exactly right, but is the mound there at One Oak retractable? Do you know that or not? Have you seen that before?
The wildest thing I've ever seen. It sinks down into the ground, and then they have like a cover they put over it, and then turf over that for their soccer matches, and then it'll rise up out whenever they're turning it back to baseball. I've never seen anything like it. It's incredible. But how quickly they can turn that field around blows my mind.
That is amazing. Nick Nastrini told me that. I was like, wow. So I thought I'd ask somebody else who'd seen it. That's amazing. Okay, so Rancho, and then obviously Tulsa, and you talked about Great Lakes there in Midland, Michigan. Those are three places that put off incredible environments for game nights, especially on the weekends. Lots of electricity. So talk about the game night environment there at One Oak and really everywhere you've been in the Dodgers organization.
Yeah, it's incredible. Rancho, your proximity to LA, you're going to have great crowds, especially if it's a rehab night. But the fans are passionate. If it's a bobblehead night, you're going to have people waiting down the street for that. The Dodger fans really do come out, especially if there's a special event there. But that's an incredible place. It's got a nice hometown feel. The people that are coming every single night, they know you by name. Great Lakes, as soon as it gets above freezing, the crowds are incredible up there. They do an incredible job with their promotions. The front office, Tiffany Wardinsky up there, does an awesome job. She really takes care of us and makes it feel like home for the players, because when it was low A, that was like the first real time you're out on the road for a full season. And that community, it's a small town, but people come out and support the team. And then Tulsa, I got a first real taste of it. I think it was early in the season when it was Bobby Miller versus Jack Leiter, and the crowd came out. And
Saturday night, wasn't it?
Yeah. Jack's an incredible kid, but he stood no chance with the crowd we had that night. So the team, like the fans in Tulsa, they know their baseball. They know all of our prospects. They know all of our players. As a trainer, it's a little weird when you're walking down the line to go stretch somebody and you have 45 people that know your name and say hi to you and want you to come over and talk to them. But they're incredible fans. They really, really support the team. Anywhere you go out in the city, if you're going out getting lunch, people will stop and grab one of our coaches, like, hey, I think you guys are doing a real good job. I can't wait. I'm coming out to the game Saturday night. And Hennessy eats it up. They call him the mayor of Drillville. But he explained to me when I first found out I was going what Tulsa's like, and it was not an exaggeration. The city truly loves the team, and the team loves to be there.
Okay, so let's move to our last question here, and I like to end these with, kind of some advice for younger people that are looking to get in the situation you're in. And, you've seen that obviously Jesse loves his job. It's a lot of work, but it's a lot of fun too, and it's very rewarding. So for all those young people out there that are looking to become an athletic trainer, what's the favorite thing that you like about it? What are they in for? What's your advice for them?
I think the best thing is just the relationships you get to develop. You get to watch guys. I've been lucky in the 5 years I've been there. There have been so many guys that I've had every single year that are now in the major leagues. Justin Brule was probably the first one. And when he made it, I think that's the happiest I've ever been for one of my guys. And watching him succeed, and then watching Miguel Vargas and James Outman. James was with us a good chunk of the season in Tulsa, watching him go up and then immediately hit a home run. Watching those guys succeed, that's the big win for you. Seeing them live out their dreams and achieve what they wanted to, knowing how hard they work. If a guy works hard for me and does every single thing that I ask to help them improve, then I'm going to love it when they succeed. And the guys that we have, they work hard. But it is long hours, and you are out on the road quite a bit. The advice that I would give for somebody who wants to do this, go on pbats.com, PBATS. You can see all the trainers of all the teams. Find out where they went to school. Look at those programs, and reach out. See if that's something that might interest you. It's a good amount of schooling, but there's also links on there for internships. And don't be afraid to reach out to teams and say, hey, is there a day I can come job shadow? Is there anything I can do to try to get my foot in the door? If you just want to call and ask questions, find out. The more people that know your name and all of that, it's going to increase your chances. The trainer that's with Little Rock in our league, Amanda Lee, she was just an intern in Tulsa a few years ago, and then she became our intern with the Dodgers down in Arizona, and now she's in our league in Little Rock with Seattle. So all it takes is a little bit of effort and getting your name out there and asking the right questions and working hard, and you can be in there too.
Wow, what an awesome experience this was for me to get to talk to you. Like I said, I had seen you from afar and gotten to see the type of job you had done, and very, very, very impressed. So when I reached out and messaged you on Instagram, I'm so glad that you decided to respond and come on to Dodgers Daily. So Jesse Guffey, Texas League Athletic Trainer of the Year, thank you so much for coming on to Dodgers Daily.
I appreciate it. Thank you.